everybody, the Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play OpenTTD. So last time, we had expanded our network quite a bit, but we've got to focus on this town here. And that could be a bit of an issue. You see, it turns out that there is almost nothing we can do to take care of this town to get back into its good graces. Except for one thing. You see, these guys are tree huggers in a weird kind of way. And so the way to make them happy again is to plant lots and lots of trees. Or so I've read online. You see, it's not quite as easy as you might think. And we can get rid of this guy here, and you can see they're still not close to being happy. We're still appalling. We just have to keep on planting trees, I suppose, until they become happy. And that's basically the idea. We're going to put them into a veritable forest. And because of the fact that they won't know any better, and we've got plenty of money to burn on this, they will be okay. Let's take a look at this still here before it disappears. Okay, well, it disappeared now, unfortunately. Are we improving our rating any? Probably not. Very poor. That may be enough for us to get in a bus station. We're doing better than we were, though. We do want this town. Right, we're building the wrong thing. You're refusing to let us build trees. So as it turns out, Pembroke is a town of tree huggers. And that is not without cost here. You see, we really should have built the bus station before anything, because with the bus station we could have done some interesting things. We just have to make them like us as much as possible. Is the local authority happy with us? Not quite. I'm gonna pick a cheaper kind of tree. I don't think there is one. But, you know, if we're trying to make these guys feel good, they have to feel as though they're in the middle of nowhere. We're still making tons of money, by the way, and in fact, I'm going to pay off some of that debt right now. I'm going to keep us at about 10 grand because something tells me that this is somewhat like real life, and if any of you people have dealt with real life, then you know that credit card companies like to screw you. At least they like to screw me. And it should go without saying that in this case, I don't think we can improve our credit rating until we do this. Now we can get these guys up into the proper place like this, for a while at least. If we look at our local authority, we want to get up to poor, I believe, and that will help us quite a deal. There's a way to tell what the the maximum thing is. And it will cost us some money, but I think as long as we continue to plant trees like this and we can get our rating up, that will help us. And I got hit by Facebook. I'm just going to let this be for now. Poor. I think that is enough for us to be able to put in a station of some kind. As long as they think of us as poor, you know what, it'll be okay. And this guy right here will have to do as is. Let's get ourselves a bit of a thing going here. It is good that we fixed that because that is not the easiest thing to fix by far. Oh, let's get rid of this. We have Prumbower Heights, Prumbower Woods, and we'll put that on a loop. This allows us to do other things as well. You see, I want to put down this guy. But we're not going to be able to just yet. Let's get all these guys here on a timetable with autofill. And let's grow this as much as we can. This will improve our ratings with the town and thus allow us to continue our work here. Well, there we go. Crisis somewhat averted, though maybe not to the degree that we would really want it to be. I mean, these guys are trying their damnedest to make things difficult for me, and I have to say they're doing a good job at it. They're doing, in fact, quite a good job at it, making us unhappy. But you see, we have many things going on here now. And that means for us that we have a bit of things going on here. Let's get Gettyngborough going. And this won't make us grow any. Or it may. You see, we have lots and lots of things here. As long as we go between, oh, I don't know, here and here, we should be fine. I'm not sure what happens when towns are this close to each other. I reckon something happens. And train 13 is blocked. Let's go down there and see what's going on. In fact, let's go here as well. Vehicle 2, that's Kedborough. And I did not put in the auto replace feature. Which is a bit of a shame. I'm supposed to be able to set this in the advanced settings. Maybe it's competitors, inflation is on, stations are on, interaction. Well, we're just going to have to replace these guys by hand, I think. Just get all of these guys here to go to the depot. Our towns are in fact growing, which is quite nice for us. We're not producing very much in the way of steel. But we'll get this commute going here. Oh, you can't go that way. Or actually you can. Why is it that we're blocked? We're blocked because I did not do much in the way of signals here. This is a bit of a problem because signaling can be a bit tricky. Let's just get rid of all these windows here. Or as I suppose the rednecks would say it, these winders. and we will get this guy going. In fact, this guy here needs to be like so. As does this guy. Well, okay, that is working out kinda well for us. Hopefully Prumborough has improved its thinking of us, and we can put in one of these guys. That's a buoy. We're going to connect this to Prumborough Woods. And what we've done is actually quite important. You see, we now have all that we can take care of. And I'm going to create this oil tanker and have it go here in full load and go to the docks here and unload everything, and no loading at all. And in the interim, we will go here. And the reason for that is quite simple. If we go to our train and have it unload here, and we have this guy, that can unload here. And we can get this thing going to where we happen to have quite a bit of things going on here. So let's level this out just a bit. Again, this is very expensive what we're doing, and we do need to be careful of that. Let's go here and let's get this guy taken care of, because we do want this to be somewhat good for us. And I will go through here and do what I usually do. Now we're in somewhat of a good deal here because we have mostly flat land and we can deal with that. And we should be getting some money back from this. Even though this train is somewhat on the lost side. And so let's at least get that going. To where we can merge in. Because that could be something that'll make or break us here. And so we've got this guy soon to be ready, at least. To merge into this track here. and that'll be good for us. And we will take this, even though it's 1968 and we should be partying. Like it's 1968. Being that I wasn't born in 1968, I have no idea how people partied back then. But you have to imagine, at least to some degree, that the way they partied was righteous. So there we go. We are back in business, at least a little bit. I think we are now in a good position to connect these guys up and get our oil going. So let's think about other things we could do. I mean, we've managed to get past this guy here, and to be quite honest, that was at least as much as I could have hoped for. And, we could deal with things this way. I think if we look at our map, we zoom out, we'll tell that we have barely scratched the surface in terms of our rail network. That's maybe a problem, but I think less of a problem than we might think for now. I want to go down here to Dell Hill. Because Dell Hill, while it's way out here, does have the advantage that it is very close to us and will help us expand, which is ultimately what we want to do. We have ourselves actually a pretty decent thing going on here. Let's just, for now, try to get in their good graces. And we can do that by creating some new vehicles and giving ourselves transport between these major areas. And it seems like Guthberg has stopped accepting mail. Well, that's okay. We don't need them anyway. Let's at least clone this vehicle and get this guy expanding. With nowhere to go, it must. And we'll be raising our. We'll go to location here. Hopefully, this guy, local authority, is more and more pleased with us. We'll put in an airport here, I think. Given its size, I think an airport is not a bad thing to connect to the station. And we will just want to, I'm going to buy out the land here. Now, we're actually doing fairly well so far. I'm going to put in an airport here just because of the fact that we build a separate station. We'll do that. This will supply our goods to us. And we'll have this airport here to help us make this long haul. Now, as for this guy, why don't we begin a building across thing here? That way these guys can do their thing. By across thing, of course, I mean a cloverleaf deal. And we will have this guy here wired up as usual. And now we're cutting through this farmland like it's nobody else's business. As we should. We definitely want this guy here to move us into the right direction, so I'm going to do that. And we will go. I'm surprised he hasn't complained about too few orders yet. We'll go over here. We have tons of wool that we can transport. And that will be very helpful for us. Because, you see, it's a matter of us getting this guy into the right deal here, into the right thing. And we'll get on that. This is the first time I think that we're not targeting a town in particular. And that does make things a little bit more interesting for us because, whoa, let's not zoom in like that. Let's just get these guys out and about like this. And we'll get these guys nice and cloned. So we can grow the city a little bit. Let's go to the local authority here. And let's get ourselves up and going. So, yeah, we'll wait for this guy to get back to the depot. Unfortunately, auto renew is not an option here. We'll replace this with a new boss. We need him to turn around. And part of the issue here is that we've got no other way through here, which I will rectify shortly. Yes, this is becoming quite a task. How can we keep this guy here, which is, for all intents and purposes, keeping us from going anywhere? How can we make him go back the way he's supposed to go without causing too much trouble? Oh, pardon me. Looks like what we're going to have to do here is remove these waterways. So there we go. We just have to level the sky off a little bit, give them a way back. And I think we are good from here. Maybe if we put a bridge over like this so that we can cross, then we'll be okay. So there we go. One loop from which the sky can hopefully see the trouble we're having here. We need to merge here. We're still not producing any goods, unfortunately. And we got another issue here, too. It's not me accidentally enabling the start menu. It's the fact that Call Valley, there we go. Somehow we were able to do this. We can get direct profit from these ships, and I'm actually going to use a bit bigger of an oil tanker. Well, maybe not. For now, let's get our oil taken care of. We'll full load the cargo. We will clone the ship. And we will get these guys going here, and they will make us some kind of money, let me tell you. Now, these guys here, we need to check and see. I think the local authority is happy with this now, or at least they're happy enough maybe to where we can put in an airport. The station here is too spread out, unfortunately. So we'll unfortunately have to deal with that. We have plenty of oil that we want to transport. And we're about to go to the moon here, it would seem. Now, I want to upgrade this guy pretty soon, I think, but for now, we're doing okay. This guy is producing crates of goods. And we'll deal with it as this comes up. For now, we could accept coal and oil. And I'm going to get a plane out here. I'm going to get this Darwin 300. It's going to be quite the deal, but this will make us quite a deal of profit too. If we go here and retrofit this for goods, or refit the aircraft, we can go between here and this guy out here. And we'll get that going. Oh, pardon me. No production, unfortunately. And we've broken down. You know, while we're at it, let me clone this train and get it going. I think as long as we get this guy to full load here, we'll be okay. We'll get this guy up and going too. And we'll put down some signals, of course. And that will be that. Or at least as far as we can tell. We've now made 240 something grand. We are completely out of debt. Which is good for us. And we now want to double check this, make sure that we are doing a full unload. And in this case, no loading here. And hopefully this guy will continue to produce oil for us. That's the hope anyway. And we are now doing our thing here. We have tons of oil that we need to get rid of. And you know, somewhere around here, if we go to our trains, just go to our orders here. Full unload any cargo and do not load any cargo at all. So far, not that bad of a deal. We're still not really producing anything, even though we've got oil out the wazoo. I think now will be a good time for us to stop and maybe come back to this at some other point. But as you can see, we are growing quite substantially, or our town is rather. And that means several hundred things for us. Before we go, I'm going to take the Guru Galaxy we have here and get ourselves a bit of a trade route going. Oh, we'll go here, and we will go to our other town, or other place with the airport, rather. Maybe up here. Although I think this is a good place to be. And we'll get our aircraft going. And I believe from here we're doing okay. We have just got to get these goods out. And we'll get these guys transported in no time. Before we go, I do want to solve this one issue. That's not what I wanted to do. Not at all. We'll full load this cargo here in a bit. And we'll put a depot here, and this guy will be responsible. You know, even though I don't know why this guy isn't accepting goal. But we'll have this guy go from place to place here. Land sloped in wrong direction. Well, let's get this guy going at least. And we'll full load anything we got here. Unload and no loading here. It's important to do that with these guys because without it, you know, these guys will very likely be in some kind of trouble. And as for this guy, why don't we level him out and make this a little bit more efficient? And hopefully we will be producing sooner rather than later. Let's just fast forward it just a little bit. There we go. I think we'll let this guy do his thing, and now we're producing tons and tons of goods, which we can deliver. Well, until next time, this has been the iLord Root, and I will see you later.